Hey guys, Lyra Linx here, and I'm back with another chapter of Drowning Emotions. Today is chapter 2, titled Girls' Night Out. And I have a little author's note sort of thingy in bold at the beginning. If you see an asterisk at the end of a sentence, it means that there's an author's note at the bottom of the page for it, but I didn't want to shove tin the author's note. Like shove it in the author's note right there and ruin the flow of the story. Alright, I'm still gonna be dealing with typos. Old me didn't like to look through things afterward. I still kind of hate proofreading even though it's necessary. But, meh, we'll work through it. Let's get right into Girls' Night Out. Why am I always the one to carry your bags? Ash complained, hauling a few large bags filled with cute clothes Dawn and I had picked out. Since we needed some cute outfits to wear to the club, I'd suggested we go shopping. And we weren't going to carry all of those bags by ourselves, so we invited Ash and dragged him here. Because you're the only one who can't outsmart us and escape, Dawn replied with a grin. Geez, Ash sighed. Sometimes I feel like you're only friends with me so I'll do stuff for you, like inviting Gary to the club. Thanks a ton for that, Dawn responded. I promise to repay you somehow. All right, Ash said, sounding unconvinced. I scanned the body-filled area one more time before deciding that I was done shopping. We had bought plenty of clothes. I turned to Dawn. Are you ready to go? Dawn also took a quick look around and nodded. Yeah, the rest of these stores are overpriced and/or tacky. Thank goodness, Ash whispered to himself. We all made our way out the doors, having paid for the clothes at their respective shops already, and walked over to Ash's convertible. Ooh, go Ash. Ash put out bags in the passenger seat, while Dawn and I sat in the back together. Ash took his spot at the steering wheel, and we all put on our seatbelts. Ash then turned on the radio, and Dawn and I began to sing all the way back to our apartment. And hopefully we didn't irritate Ash too much. You didn't seem worried about that earlier. We let Ash off the hook and carried all the bags inside ourselves, and he sped off. I set down my bags and got out the key to our apartment, unlocking it, picking the bags back up, and heading inside. After making our way through high school, Dawn and I still weren't entirely sure what we wanted to do with ourselves, so we thought it'd be a good idea to rent an apartment and live together for a while thinking of different options. It had been my idea for us to live together, and I was really nervous that she might shoot down the idea, but she quickly accepted, going on about how much fun it'd be. She said it would be a nice way to bond even more, if that's even possible, and that we'd always be able to have each other's backs. I can't even describe how happy I had been to hear that. It was like fireworks going off inside of me. Phew, Dawn sighed, collapsing on her bed. We spent a lot of time shopping. We can make some dinner and then get ready to hit the club. I nodded and started fishing through one of my bags. Have you decided which outfit you're going to wear? That's the wrong kind of wear. Wow, that's a really dumb mistake. Yup, she replied and hoisted herself back up. She snatched one of the bags and ran in the direction of the bathroom, going to change so I could see. I decided to change myself. I closed the blinds and just stripped down right in the main room. It didn't matter if Dawn came out and saw me. We were both girls. It isn't like she'd never seen me in my bra and panties before. Wow, okay. I took off my usual Jodo-style outfit in place of something much better. I put on a roughly black blouse and a ruffled dark blue skirt covered in small white dots. I put on black tights under the skirt, completed with some nice black flats. I then went over to the mirror and threw my hair up into a small ponytail. There's an asterisk. With that, everything was complete, and I patiently waited for Dawn to get out of the bathroom. An eternity later, she exited, and my jaw dropped. She had her hair tied in pigtails that ran down her shoulders. She wore a gorgeous red strapless dress with a black belt. She also sported some red high heels, which I could never pull off, and she also decorated herself in jewelry. 3 golden bracelets wrapped around her wrists on both sides, and she wore a necklace with a fake red jewel in the shape of a heart. She looked amazing. You look fabulous, I commented. Dawn blushed a bit. Thank you. I love your outfit too. It suits you perfectly. I did a twirl and my skirt spun out with me. Thanks. I just fell in love with this outfit at first sight. Dawn held out her elbow. Ready to go, hun? I wrapped my arm around her arm, letting her escort me as if I were a princess. Don't start sounding like Harley. And hey, we were supposed to make dinner before we left. But now that I'm all dressed up, I'm really eager to go, Dawn whined, giving me her puppy eyes. I can't resist that face. All right, let's call Ash and get a ride. Time skip. In a half an hour, we were at the club. It was packed. Ash had invited a lot of people, too. His girlfriend stood beside him, and Gary had been waiting for Ash beside the bar. Gary hadn't been drinking or anything, though. Ash had also invited Drew. At my request, Iris, Silent, Misty, Tracy, Brock, Barry, and Paul. I'd make sure to help Dawn avoid that lowlife. Wrong kind of there. There were lots of strangers in the bar as well, their loud voices almost as ear-piercing as the volume of the music. They were currently playing some sort of techno sound that made my head pound. Most people were hooting and hollering on the dance floor, all doing their own dances to the music. Some were amazing dancers, while others were just huge posers. Yup, just how I had imagined this to be. Dawn turned to me, looking nervous. You need to help me out here. I don't know what to say to him, but I want Gary to like me. Relax, I said in a soothing voice. You can count on me to be your wing woman. I'll go talk to him and put in a good word for you, okay? Dawn sighed in relief. Thanks so much, May. I nodded and started walking over to Gary. My chest felt like it was tightening. All of this just sucked. It really hurt. It really hurt to help her with all of this, trying to get her together with all these different guys. But I just couldn't say how I felt. Damn it, why can't I be braver? It isn't like she's purposely hurting me, though. She doesn't know. Something Ash had said flashed through my mind. They say if you love somebody, you should let them go. But if you really and truly love someone, you should never let them go. If your feelings reach Dawn, I'm sure it'll all work out. Yes, the only wise information I've ever received from Ash. I shook the thought out of my head and sat beside Gary. Suck it up, May. As long as Dawn is happy, your feelings don't matter right now. Besides, Gary is a nice guy, as far as you know. He waved at me. You're May, right? I nodded. And you're Gary? The one and only. Why are you sitting here all alone? I asked. Do you not have a date? Well, Gary sighed, there's a girl I like, but I doubt she'd go for someone like me. Oh, I said, curious now. Who is this girl? Right, Gary snorted at me, because I'd tell you so that you could gossip to all of your friends about her. I promise I won't, I insisted, and if you tell me who it is, I might be able to tell you whether they like you or not. You're a woman. You aren't going to keep a secret. This guy is pissing me off. Fuck you. Oh gosh. You wish you could, he shot back at me. Whoa, okay, whoa. I was writing fan fiction back when I was like between 12 to 14. I don't think that I should be using this language and knowing what it means. With that, I got up and stormed away. Dawn saw my angry face and she became concerned. What happened, May? Don't bother with the bastard, I snarled. He just pisses me off. You'd be better off with someone else. Dawn sighed sadly. Oh. I immediately felt bad for her. She was really hoping to be able to get through to this guy. I couldn't let this ruin her night. I took her wrist and dragged her over to the dance floor before she could protest. I bumped my side into hers. Come on, Dawn. Let's dance the night away and just forget about boys. Let's make this a single lady night. One of us won't be single for long, Dawn giggled and pointed somewhere behind me. I turned and saw Drew. Your prince is coming to save you. I don't need any saving, I growled mentally. Why do you have to come over to me now? I was trying to have some fun with Dawn, but for the sake of keeping up my lies, I pretended to be happy to see him. Like, really happy. Even though I couldn't care less. Hello there, beautiful, Drew greeted me, pulling a rose out from behind his back and handing it to me. I acted pleased. It's really pretty, thank you. Really? Were roses all he could give me? Sure, it was a symbol of love, but when someone keeps giving you the same gift over and over again, it doesn't feel that special anymore, like he isn't putting any real thought into his actions. That's one of the reasons I've never fallen in love with Drew for real. His actions are repetitive and boring, like he continues doing it because he can't think of anything original to do. I like Dawn's gifts, because she always thinks about the things I'm most interested in at the moment. She knows exactly what I want. Drew flicked his hair and smiled. I attached a special note onto it, too. Another thing about Drew that I disliked was the constant smirk and hair flipping. He was just an overly arrogant poser, and whenever he teased me, it wasn't in a romantic way at all. It made me want to strangle him. Gosh, I'm so harsh to Drew in a lot of my stories, but actually back then and even now I really liked him. I just felt like I always needed to have someone be a villain, even though that's totally unnecessary, and he was, I guess, easy to put in that place along with Misty. You can even see that in my YouTube Poke High School romance series. Wow. It took all I had to suppress my hatred and smile at him. I hadn't noticed the note tied around the flower since I hadn't really been paying much attention to the gift anyway. As I said before, I really don't care about it. I took hold of the note and unfolded it, now beginning to read its contents. I hoped I wasn't making a weird face or something, because this all just seemed too sickly sweet. Even the beauty of a rose cannot compare to the gorgeous chestnut color of your hair. The shine of your blue eyes is more wondrous than any sunrise, and every day I pray that I can spend forever with my dear May. Love, Drew Hayden. I don't know. That's kind of cute. I looked up from the note and Drew smiled at me. I smiled back. Meet me at Hatake Park a week from now at 4, he instructed. Why? I questioned. He seemed suspicious. He smirked. I'll have something special ready for you. He didn't say another word. Instead, he walked away, leaving me alone with Dawn again. She was smiling like an idiot at me. It was kind of scary. What's up with that face? I questioned nervously. I shot her a "you're crazy" look. Dawn clapped her hands together. You're the one who should be making this face. Wasn't that romantic? He's really into you. Such a great boyfriend. Actually, I'd never officially said yes to Drew's confession a couple years ago, so we had technically never been dating, but I'd never let anyone know that. They could think whatever they wanted, as long as they didn't catch on that I wasn't straight. I did feel a little bad for Drew, though. I was kind of leading him on, but, ugh, I'm such a terrible person. Yeah, I falsely agreed. It was really sweet. What's wrong, May? She questioned. You look kind of down. I waved my hands. It's nothing. Just thinking about school again. You know, I want to go to the college here in Sinnoh. All of our friends are moving here, and there are some good options. So why don't we leave Veilstone and try applying to that new college in Sunnyshore? Dawn's eyes sparkled. Sunnyshore. We could go to the beach and shop for seals. Focus, Dawn, I hissed. We'd be going there for college. Sounds good, Dawn agreed. Let's apply. It's settled then, I exclaimed. We'll be college graduates, but for now we're party animals. You're going to give me this next dance whether you like it or not, Miss Burlitz. All right, she easily agreed. And so we traveled further into the crowd, covering the dance floor and started to dance our asses off. I got close to Dawn and glommed her. Baby grinds on me, I sang. Wow, you're a real weirdo, Dawn laughed. I agree. You love me anyway, I purred, still hugging her. You know I do. Time skip. An hour later, Dawn was still in the dancing mood, rocking the dance floor while I took a break. I leaned against the wall and watched the strobe lights flash new colors across the room every second. Let's hope no one with epilepsy ever wanders into a place like this. After a while of being by myself, Ash approached me, Serena having run off to talk with some of Ash's other friends. He waved at me, then leaned on the wall beside me. You look entranced, Ash laughed. You realize you've been staring at Dawn for like 10 minutes straight and you've barely blinked. You know how I feel, I whispered back. I can't help myself. She looks so dazzling right now and she's such a beautiful dancer. Unlike me. I just make stuff up as I go. I'm a wallflower myself, he said, nodding. Serena keeps trying to get me to dance with her, but if I agreed I'd turn her feet into bloody stumps. I always end up stepping on people's feet and bumping into people. Not to mention I look like a drunk idiot. I always end up pissing someone off. Ha! I let out a small laugh. And then we both went quiet for a long time. Ash didn't like silence too much, so he finally spoke up. And he brought up a subject I wasn't prepared to talk about. You should march up to her right now and tell her how you feel. What? I spat out in shock. He stared out at Dawn, looking serious. I mean it, May. If you don't do it soon, you might never get the opportunity. If you don't confess, someone else will, and I know how bad that'll hurt you. I've dealt with the pain of Dawn having a boyfriend before, I reminded him. It wouldn't be any different now. But she's an adult now, Ash replied. A boyfriend won't stay a boyfriend forever. What if someone ever proposed to her? Then what the hell are you supposed to do? I don't know, I admitted. I'd never really thought of that. You should tell Drew you aren't interested in him, he continued on. Otherwise you might really hurt him in the future. I don't think you want to pretend to be his forever. Not at all, I sighed. I took things too far with him, right? Yeah, Ash replied. Do you know what he has planned for me at Hatake Park? I asked in curiosity. Ash looked at me nervously. Well, about that. What is it? Spit it out. Ash's shoulders slumped and his head nodded down. He wants to propose to you. If I had a drink in my hand, I'd be spitting out its contents. Propose? Shh, Ash hissed, covering my mouth with his hand. Not so loud. Drew said he'd kick my ass if I told you. He's going to propose to me? I screamed. Not if you end things, Ash responded. Just tell him you're over with. Fine. Where is he? Ash's face went pale. Actually, I think he already left. Give me his phone number so I can call him then. You don't have his phone number even though he's your boyfriend? Don't call him my boyfriend! And I forgot it. I'd never had the desire to call him, so... Ash sighed. Well, don't call him this instant. He's probably driving. After this crazy night, he's probably going to go to sleep, too. Call him in the morning. Fine, I hissed. Just give me the damn number. After Ash wrote down Drew's number and gave it to me, I ran over to Dawn and told her I was ready to leave. She was pretty exhausted herself, so she decided to head back with me. Ash roped his girlfriend back in, and we all hopped into his car. Ash drove us to the apartment, and he and Serena said goodnight before driving off. I unlocked our door, and the two of us walked in. Dawn immediately kicked off her high heels and sat down on her bed, rubbing her feet. Ow! High heels aren't the best dancing shoes after all. They aren't the best walking shoes either, I commented. How the hell do you not twist your ankle in those evil things? Years of practice, Dawn responded. Hey, Dawn, I said, my voice a whisper. There's something I wanted to talk to you about. What's up? She asked, patting her bed as a signal for me to sit down beside her. I did so and twiddled my thumbs nervously. I've been thinking about this for a while, so... Dawn, should I break up with Drew? Way to fuck it up, May. You were supposed to confess. And ending there on somewhat of a cliffhanger. The first asterisk was for the ponytail note. Looks like how Sapphire throws up her hair sometimes. Hatake Park. Not a real place in Sinnoh, obviously. It's just there as a reference to my username. And then a little author's note. Hope you liked that chappie. Yay, the girls will be heading to college soon. Boo, May still can't state her true feelings. Hope you enjoyed this chapter and maybe got some humor out of it. Please leave a review and tell me what you think. I really appreciate them. Until next time, Ichigo Hatake. Well, let's check out the reviews. That was somewhat of an interesting chapter. I'm surprised. I say this a lot. I'm just surprised that it's my writing. It's almost violent sounding. Wow. I like how I ask for reviews, and this particular chapter has none. This chapter 3? Yeah, let's not look at that yet, though. Wow. Alright, I guess that's it for this chapter of Drowning Emotions. I hope you'll join me in another one. Like and subscribe for more content. Feel free to leave comments, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.